Irish Bend Covered Bridge is a wooden covered bridge in Corvallis, Oregon. It was constructed in 1954 on Irish Bend Road near Monroe. However, in 1975, Irish Bend Road was realigned and the bridge fell into a state of disrepair. The bridge was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. It was eventually dismantled in 1988 to make way for a more modern concrete bridge. Through negotiations with Benton County and Oregon State University, an agreement was reached to reconstruct the bridge on university property. $30,000 was raised by the Irish Bend Advisory Committee, and Benton County provided an additional $30,000 to fund the project, which was completed in 1989. Today, the bridge is part of a path through the Oregon State University Dairy Research Center located on 180 acres just west of campus. The university has had a dairy facility here for over 100 years. In front of the covered bridge is a bench with a memorial plaque in memory of Ronald Clark, a longtime faculty member in the Department of Religious Studies and an influential scholar in the area of human ecology. In 1983, Ronald Clark wrote an article entitled The Teachings of Bhagwan Shree Rajneesh and Their Social, Ethical, and Environmental Implications. Rajneesh was an Indian guru and founder of the Rajneesh movement. He rejected institutional religions, insisting that spiritual experience could not be organized into any one system of religious dogma. In 1981, Rajneesh moved from India to Oregon. He purchased a 64,229-acre ranch, previously known as the Big Muddy Ranch, located in Wasco and Jefferson counties. It was renamed Rancho Rajneesh. In May 1982, the residents of Rancho Rajneesh voted to incorporate it as the city of Rajneeshpuram. The movement ran into conflict with county residents and the state government, and a succession of legal battles concerning the ashram's construction. It was during this time frame that Clark wrote his article about Rajneesh. Clark's main charge was that Rajneesh had a narcissistic personality disorder. In response to Clark's article, Rajneesh wrote that all three of the major religions born in India, Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, agree on this fundamental point, that the personality is the problem. Unless humanity can learn to put personality aside, we can never hope to discover the splendor, the treasure that is hidden within ourselves. Rajneesh wrote that if Clark is really a professor of religious studies, then he cannot deny the Eastern insight that the personality is a disorder and that there is no question of a healthy or unhealthy personality. But if he accepts this idea, then what becomes of his Western psychology? Rajneesh claimed that previously Clark had written an article in favor of him, had given lectures about him, and had come to the commune in Oregon to see him. Rajneesh went on to say that it seemed that Clark was now being pressured by vested interests, by the American government, by the Christian Church, and others, to turn against him. Both Clark's original article and Rajneesh's reply were published in Free Inquiry, a bi-monthly journal of secular humanist opinion and commentary published by the Council for Secular Humanism. Robert Basil, an editorial associate of Free Inquiry, then wrote an article in response to Rajneesh's critique of Ronald Clark. Basil wrote that Clark's main charge was that Rajneesh had a narcissistic personality disorder. In defending himself against that charge, Rajneesh puts in his corner the wisdom of Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, Eastern religions that do in fact critique the very notion of personality. Basil claimed that Rajneesh conveniently forgets to mention that Rajneesh has filled volume after volume with biting attacks on these very religions and the Eastern view of existence. Basil wrote that this is the kind of sophistry that Clark noted clearly in his article. In 1985, a couple years after these articles were published, state and federal authorities investigated Rajneesh's personal secretary and her close supporters for a number of crimes, including a 1984 mass food poisoning attack intended to influence county elections, an aborted assassination plot on a U.S. attorney, the attempted murder of Rajneesh's personal physician, and the bugging of his own living quarters. Authorities later convicted several members of the ashram. Rajneesh was deported from the United States on immigration-related charges. In 1986, Rajneesh returned to India where he died in 1990. Next time you visit Oregon State University, take a moment to sit on the bench by the Irish Bend Covered Bridge and reflect on Professor Ronald Clark and his role in this unique chapter of Oregon's history. If you have any suggestions for future Oregon adventures you'd like to see, then why not add a comment down below? Before you go, if you like this video and learned something new, please give a thumbs up and click on the like button. If you don't want to miss any upcoming videos, then please remember to click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.